moment I knew my marriage was over wasn't during a screaming match or a tearful confession. It was in the silence. It happened on a quiet Tuesday night. We were on the couch, the TV was on, and I asked my wife, Nora, a simple question: "Want to come sit closer?" She didn't look at me. For a few seconds, she didn't even answer. Then she let out this long, irritated sigh and physically shifted farther away, as if just my presence was a chore. That was it. That was the moment. It wasn't sadness or anger that hit me. It was just ... awareness. You can get through fights. You can survive being distant for a while. But when your partner starts reacting to you like you're an inconvenience, you realize something fundamental has already died. I didn't say anything. I'd already tried asking what's wrong too many times and learned that explanations without any real change are just noise. So instead I started watching. And once I was really looking, the signs were everywhere. Her phone was always face down on the table. She was laughing again, a lot, but never with me. She started dressing differently for work, not over the top, just ... Intentionally, like she knew someone specific was paying attention. She'd come home later and later, always with a perfectly reasonable excuse that sounded like it had been rehearsed. I stopped reaching for her hand in bed. That part actually seemed to surprise her. About a week later, she brought up her company's annual reception. Big, formal event, all the senior partners, clients, a real power player evening. Spouses were encouraged to attend. She told me about it quickly, stressing how important it was for her career, how much appearances mattered. She tried to sound casual, but her eyes were glued to my face, trying to read my reaction. I said yes, I'd go. Not because I wanted to support her, but because I needed to see the truth for myself out in the open. The night of the party, she looked incredible, confident, glowing, alive. She was the version of Nora I hadn't seen at home in months. In the car, she was quiet, just fiddling with her phone and smoothing her dress. The venue was exactly what you'd expect: fancy lighting. A live band, a room full of people wearing their ambition like a suit of armor. The second we walked in, Nora transformed. Her posture straightened, her smile got sharper. She introduced me to people proudly, but it felt distant, like I was a credential, not her husband. It only took me a few minutes to spot him. Even Brooks, a senior strategist at her firm. His name had popped up in conversation before, a little too casually. He was holding court by the bar, relaxed, magnetic. The moment Nora saw him, her whole body lit up before she could stop it. That one look confirmed everything. For the rest of the evening, she moved us through the room like chess pieces, always making sure she was in his line of sight. Every laugh was angled in his direction. Every time she touched my arm, it felt like a performance for his benefit. I wasn't her partner. I was her prop, a living, breathing alibi. I stayed calm. I smiled, I nodded. I was the perfect supportive husband. Then the music changed. A slow song started playing, the kind that pulls couples to the dance floor without a word. People started pairing off. Nora turned to me, her smile tight and forced. "Let's dance," she said. It wasn't a request, it was an instruction. She wanted the image of us, the perfect couple, swaying in the middle of the room. That's when it hit me with absolute clarity. I looked at her, at the people watching, and then at Evan, who was also watching. I gently pulled my hand away from hers. "No," I said quietly but firmly. "I don't want to." Her smile froze. She let out a nervous little laugh. Thinking I was joking, she leaned in and whispered, "Don't be difficult. People are watching. It'll look weird." And that sentence, right there, ended our marriage more completely than any fight ever could. She wasn't worried about me or us. She was worried about how it looked. I just looked at her and said no again. The chatter around us died down. Nora's face went from confusion to pure panic. She whispered my name like a threat. Evan noticed the tension and walked over, his face a perfect mask of rehearsed concern. "Is everything okay?" he asked. I looked right at him, then back at Nora, and I didn't feel a thing. No anger, no jealousy, just emptiness. I said clearly and calmly, "I think my wife is far more interested in your attention than she is in mine, and I don't feel like pretending otherwise anymore." A deep, uncomfortable silence spread through the crowd. Nora was ghost white, her perfect composure shattering in real time. She tried to pull me aside, begging me to stop, to think about her career, her reputation. She never once asked me how I felt, and that was all the answer I ever needed. I turned and walked out. I didn't run, I didn't cause a scene. I just left the whole collapsing illusion behind me. When she came home hours later, she was furious, accusing me of humiliating her, of ruining everything. I just told her the truth. For months, I said, I felt invisible. Tonight wasn't about humiliating you. It was about being honest. And honesty only hurts when it's exposing something that's already rotten. We didn't fight. There was nothing left to fight for. She moved into the guest room that night. In the weeks that followed, the fallout happened without me. Workplace rumors started. Evan, of course, backed away instantly. He was never going to stick around for the messy part. Nora eventually tried to fix things, apologies, therapy, promises, but the damage wasn't just about the betrayal. It was about the months of neglect. It was about her choosing admiration from a stranger over the commitment we had built. We separated quietly. I didn't feel like I'd won anything. I just felt lighter. That night I refused to dance wasn't about revenge. It was about choosing to stop acting in a play where my character had already been written out of the story. And once you stop pretending, everything becomes crystal clear. Thanks for listening.